possession of your loved one into their office for examination. So before you call the funeral home when one of your loved one passes, you want to make sure that their death was pronounced by a physician, by a registered nurse, by a coroner, by an EMT, a police officer, somebody that's licensed to do so. So going back to my story, this lady was in fact pronounced by a physician that was on site at the nursing home. Crazy, right? So Federico told her, ma'am, you were pronounced. I'm just doing my job. I apologize. Please calm down. Let me unstrap you. Let me unwrap you. Because again, she was wrapped in a sheet. So he did. He said he did. And I told him, and what did you do next? He's like, well, what can I do? I called 911. I called 911 and I said, hey, I'm on this street and that street, and you guys need to come pick her up. Like, she was pronounced. I was on my way to the funeral home. So the paramedics got there. They picked her up. They took her to the hospital. He found out 3 days later she officially passed away. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, no, yes, this time I was sure. He's like, but I did call the nursing home back. And I said, hey, like, what's up with this? You know, this can be a lawsuit. Not only for the funeral home, but for myself, for you guys. Like, what's going on? How can you guys have a physician on site and the physician doesn't know what he's doing when he pronounced this poor lady? Well, what they were told is that the lady that was pronounced, mistakenly pronounced, she had a condition where her heart would stop beating for minutes at a time. And this particular time, usually the longest that her heart had stopped beating was 3 minutes. But this time it went on for 15 minutes. So the doctor was like, yeah, no, she's gone. She's gone, she's gone, she's gone. So that's why they assumed that she was deceased. Now, I sit here and I still think to myself, just imagine. She wasn't going to my funeral home. This is a whole different funeral home. But let's just say that she was they were on their way to drop her off at the funeral home I was working with. And I already have trauma with dead people as it is. So let's just say they brought her in, they put her in the refrigerator or the cooler, that's the proper term, the cooler. And I go back there and I'm hanging up clothes and I just hear banging and screaming in the cooler. I would leave. I would quit on site. I would not even open that door. I'd be like, you know what? You're already in there. It's so cold in there. You're halfway there. Just chill. Literally. Just chill out. Your family already paid. I'm not trying to refund them. And that casket, no. Forget about it. I got a good chunk of change for that casket. So you need to just chill, relax, have a seat, talk to the others that are there. Stop screaming and banging. And I would quit. I would quit on site. Who wouldn't? That's just, that's insane. So that's my little story for today, guys. As usual, today is a little shorter, I should say, of an episode. Again, I appreciate you guys, every single one of you guys who take the time to listen to this podcast. I appreciate those that reach out to me and ask me questions. No question is stupid. Aside from all the crazy stories that I like to share with you guys, I also like to share a little bit of knowledge that I have because, like I mentioned in another episode, it's such a taboo to talk about death. However, we all experience it at least once in our life. And I'm not saying with ourselves, with our loved ones. And a lot of times when that happens, obviously we're so lost in grieving that we don't have time at that. You know, we don't have the right mindset at that time to ask questions, to know where to go for guidance, to ensure that your loved one is being taken care of. And that's what I'm here for. To answer any and all questions that you have. To give you a peace of mind if I can. Or even if you want to shoot me a message and just share your story with me. If you want me to share it publicly, I will share it publicly. If you want me to keep it private, I will keep it private. But just know that I'm here to answer any questions. If you need an ear to listen to you. Like I said, death, it's hard on all of us. All of us, including us in the funeral home. Just because I work in the industry, it does not mean that I'm ready for what's to come. Nobody can ever prepare themselves for that. But one thing that I do ask, if you have the opportunity to spend time with your loved ones, to tell them that you love them on a daily basis, to hug them every time you see them, take advantage of that. Because we just never know when that last hug will be. Take it from me. The last time I seen my aunt was in November of last year. And I had a feeling. I did have a feeling. I have a video to prove it, where I felt like it was the last time that I was ever going to see her. Do I have any regrets? The only regret I have is not holding on to her tighter. But regardless of what, even if I would have held on tight, God was still going to take her with him. He needs her more than I need her. You know? So, tell your loved ones how much you love them. Stop holding grudges. What do you get out of holding a grudge? Besides resentment, and then later on, regret. Once they're in the casket, you could yell at them all you want. You can apologize to them all you want. But guess what? They can no longer hear you. Whoever told you they can, lied to you. They cannot. So why don't you make things right while they're alive? Don't hold grudges. Again, guys, thank you so much. I don't get tired of thanking each and every one of you for taking the time to listen to me rant, all my stories and everything. God continue to bless each and every one of us. And see you next time.